Welcome to another Scene World unboxing with Merman. Back in 2016, Retro Games Limited launched an Indiegogo campaign for the TheC64, designed to be a full-sized working Commodore 64 replica and a smaller portable console. Initial design plans included a cartridge slot and adapters to attach original peripherals and joysticks. Although the campaign did not meet its funding goal, they pressed ahead and launched in March 2018 the C64 Mini. This had several of the aspects of the original console design, with a miniature C64 keyboard and a joystick included, with extra buttons to access the menu and other functions of the Mini. And now, in December 2019, Retro Games Limited have launched the TheC64, the full-sized version with a working keyboard. The other major change is that this version also emulates the VIC-20 and has two modes: the classic mode, where it boots straight into the computer itself, or the carousel mode as featured in the original Mini, where you can select games and see instructions. Some of the features here: USB ports on the back, HDMI output, a micro USB power cable, and this time there was an AC adapter included in the box, unlike other consoles. Power button is on the side, and then there are 3 more USB ports on the side. This allows you to plug in 2 joysticks and an USB flash drive or a card reader. So, among the C64 games included: Impossible Mission, Iridus Alpha, Paradroid, Iridium, Boulder Dash, and VIC-20 games from Jeff Minter, including Grid Runner and Boulder Dash. Details on the side there: connect to HDMI and also USB devices. Includes a save game feature. So let's have a look inside the box. As you can see, a bit of light reflecting that. The main console sits inside the case like so. And for a quick comparison, here is the Mini alongside the new full size. Included in the box is the quick guide just to get you up and running. Alongside the console is a small box which has some useful parts in. I've obviously already unwrapped this, but this will show you what's inside. Here then is the new joystick, featuring the same extra buttons, the 2 triangular buttons on the top here, 2 independent file buttons, and 4 buttons for accessing the menus on the back. It has a standard USB connector for use with other devices, and there's been a lot of helpful posts online, on Facebook groups and so on, about what other USB devices are compatible. Also in the box is the AC adapter. This one obviously is for the UK with 3 pins and USB connection on the back. And more cables inside this small box. We have a tangle. We put the cables away, they always tangle up. We have the micro USB power lead and the HDMI lead for connecting to a monitor or TV. So that gives you a quick look at what's inside the box. Now I'll get the console set up, use a USB stick to update the firmware, and show you the console in action. So we have the console set up. The HDMI lead is to the back of the telly, and this particular television comes with a USB port on the side, so I was able to plug that in. I also have a memory stick and the joystick ready to go. So I'll switch the console on. And there's a short startup sequence. Retro games, THE C64. And now we're into the menu. And this is the carousel, which as you can see looks very similar to the original C64 menu. So we have the music is currently switched off. Menu tune is the same one by Matt Gray. So we have Alley Cat, Anarchy, Attack of the Mutant Camels for the C64 from Jeff Minter, Avenger, Battle Valley from Racket, a new title here, Bear Bother, John Ritten's platform game converted by Don Campbell, Boulder Dash, Bounder, California Games from Epix, Chips Challenge, another Epix title, Confusion by Paul Shirley, a very good puzzle game, Cosmic Causeway, sequel to Trailblazer, and as you see at the top right there are some brief instructions. Fourth Dimension's Cyberline Warrior from Hewson and the Ron Brothers, Cybernoid 2, Deflector, Destroy It, this is another new title from Epix on this machine, Everyone's a Wally, more playable now with the keyboard, Firelord from Hewson, brilliant Ben Douglas magic music, Galancia, this is the special Galancia mini version created by Jason Aldred, Soulcross and Polespot, and was added to the firmware for the C64 Mini, and in fact the firmware for both consoles has been updated since release, adding new features and this game. Gateway to Abshai, very early rogue type dungeon game. Grubby's Day Out, brilliant game from Andrew Braybrooke. Grid Runner for the VIC-20. Heartland from Odin, platform game. Herobotics, Highway Encounter, Hover Bother, Impossible Mission, the classic, and its sequel, IO, Iridis Alpha, Jumpman by Randy Glover, his reaction to Donkey Kong, Mega Apocalypse from Simon Nicol with Rob Hubbard music, Mission AD from Odin, also with Fred Gray music, Wanted Monty Mole, Tony Crowther wrote the C64 version, different to the Spectrum game, Monty on the Run, Nebulous from John Phillips, Neverworld from the late Yuka Takanamaki, Nodes of Yesod, Power Droid, Pitstop 2, Planet of Death text adventure from Arctic, Jeff Minter's Psychedelia for the VIC-20, the light synthesizer, Ranarama, Gary Foreman for Hewson, very enjoyable Gauntlet style game, Robin the Wood, another Odin title, title's been added, Silicon Warrior from Epix, Skate Crazy from Gremlin, Speedball 2, Carl Muller's brilliant C64 version, Spin Dizzy by Paul Shirley, Steel from Hewson and Gary Biasillo, Street Sports Baseball and Street Sports Basketball, Summer Games 2, this actually includes the events from Summer Games, or at least it did on the Mini, Super Cycle, Sword of Fargol, another roguelike where you can only see where you've explored, the Enhanced Temple of Apshai trilogy, all 3 games, Ark of Yesod, the C64 Hall of Fame, similar to the Mini's original, Thing Bounces Back and Thing on a Spring, Trailblazer by Sean Seven, Iridium, Andrew Braybrooke, Who Dares Wins 2, Winter Games, World Games, and Synapse. So we're back round. Now let's have a look at some of the options. As you can see bottom left, there are some immediate options you can use there with the buttons on the back of the joystick. So we can switch the music on and off with button free. These are the display options. I tend to leave it on pixel perfect. I'm not a fan of scan lines. Language settings. We will go into here to update. Now, in computer model, you choose how it boots up in the classic mode. The default here is a C64 PAL. You can choose NTSC or VIC-20. Boot mode, you choose between the carousel or straight into the classic. The legal notices, the system information. Now, if you insert a USB stick with the updated firmware, the device will automatically search for it. As you can see, this is a new build. It has version 1.3 initially, and I have the new firmware update from December 2019 available. So I'm going to press apply, and the one thing to bear in mind is once you've added a new firmware, you can't go back to an earlier model, so unless you factory reset. So I'm going to apply new firmware, and you see you get an animation. It's good that Retro Games Limited have continued to update the firmware for both the Mini and the new full size. Some people call it the Maxi. I prefer TheC64 or full size for short. And now it should reboot with the new firmware applied. So I've added some features, including dealing with long file items on the USB stick. So if we go into system information, it's updated, and now the firmware actually covers both machines, so you only need the one file to update both. So if you have a USB stick or card reader attached, the USB logo will appear here. So we can now go into directory listings and go into, say, Scene-World directory, and as you can see, here are some of my work files and the actual Scene-World disc magazine. So let's just start this one up. If you look, the third button here is selecting between fast load and slow load. Button 4 takes you back to the previous menu. Button 1 takes you up a directory. So I'm going to start SW01, issue 1 of Scene-World. Loads in quickly. It's now decompacting. And there we have it. The intro of the first ever Scene-World. Now, of course, with the new working keyboard, you can press keys, but if we push button 4, we get the same menu as the Mini, including the virtual keyboard. Tuned by Psychodad there, code by Macbeth. And so now we can go exit game and go back to the menu. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you quickly Grid Runner to demonstrate the VIC-20 emulation. So it will boot into VIC-20 mode and give you the game. So if you've never played Grid Runner, it's a variation on the classic Centipede with the X and Y zappers, which you have to avoid, and I singularly failed to do so there. So the idea is you blast away the enemies, the big bombs appear as you destroy enemies or are dropped by the XY zapper, and once you've killed all the enemies, you move on to the next level and gain an extra life. And you can see now this level has more enemies. So, and you start to learn that you can't run into the dropping missiles. I remember being at a retro gaming event and watching Paul Drury of Retro Gamer score a massive total on Matrix, and I was completely unable to match it. And this is classic Jeff, psychedelic effects, blasting action. You can actually move up and down a bit like that, which has its advantages and disadvantages. So we'll stop embarrassing myself by showing you that. I think what we might do is go back into my files list and in this directory, VideoMineAlfie 364.co.uk runs the 364 fanzine and is also a big fan of cheating in games. So here you can see he's created hacks that were originally for the C64 Mini and can obviously now be run on the full size as well. And we take one random here and just put the FB file browser on it, and we can look through and find some excellent games here. We'll play one of my favourites, file browser from Pixel.net. And as well as using the menu system, there is another trick which is introduced in later firmware. This is a hack intro, so we'll press space to go past, which of course we can now do on the full size. Hit run stop. It's the loading screen. Play high score game. Put the high scores. And there we have Super Pipeline 2, one of my favourite C64 games. And you are the foreman, running around the pipe, protecting it from the nasties. The workmen in green run behind you and are there to fix leaks, which are caused by drills, hammers and other tools in weak points in the pipe. You have to fill the barrel at the bottom of the screen with water. And later levels have multiple barrels to fill. If the workmen get hit, they fall off and come back later. If you get hit, you lose a life. So it looks like we have enough water there to complete the level. There are some fun intermissions, such as that one with the Sinclair C5 and onto Pipe 2. So, as I was saying, there is another way of adapting and changing games for the Mini and the C64 introduced in later firmwares. It's the CJM configuration. Now you can either have a file in the same directory as a game file, named the same but .cjm, or you can add certain codes to the file name. So, for example, to automatically swap joystick port 1 and 2, to add the fast load, to do other things like that. So, if you search online, Facebook groups dedicated to the Mini and C64 will give you some help. There is a separate CMJ configuration utility you can download, which adds those details or creates a file for you. That's a good thing that's been added. It makes the Mini and the new full size more flexible and gets around some of the irritation, for example, of a game needing port 2. Should have enough water here to complete. There is actually a nice little bug in Super Pipeline 2 with the sprite MSB, where it goes over 256. If you position the man right, you can actually shoot bullets across the screen. The other trick, there we go, you can see there, if you position him right, you can get what I call the backfire, which can protect you. When I managed to do it the first time, that was quite good. So as I say, that's one of my favourites on the C64. If we drop into there, we can save and load. Button 1 saves, button 3 loads. You have up to 4 save states per game, which are saved to any memory stick or SD card you've got in it. So I will drop out of this game and go back to the menu. And as you can see, the full size has a fully working keyboard. It doesn't have the Commodore logo on the Commodore key due to a rights issue. When Commodore went bankrupt, Commodore Germany, the subsidiary, bought the logo and then sold it on during the complicated process of moving on the assets, and it's been lost among various companies with more than one claiming it. So that means Virtual Games Limited are unable to use the logo on the machine and the packaging. But the packaging itself is very impressive. It looks very much like the original, the classic C64 boxes. If you're looking closely at some of the file names here, you might spot some C64 games I've helped test and some new files, new games that you may not have seen. So I'm just going to pop into here. Now that's a zip file, or is it the cartridge file? No, that is actually a cartridge file, sorry. I'm going to finish the video with the updated 1.2 version of 0 pages. Incredible Super Mario Bros. 64 conversion. And you can see it's got lots of settings. You can change, it accepts turbo accelerators like the Chameleon and Super CPU to give you faster gameplay and avoid some of the very minor glitches that can occur on a standard machine. But it is an incredible conversion. Looks and sounds just like the original, although you do have to press up to jump, which can be cured with either a special 2-button pad or by using the classic annihilator stick, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I quite like myself. Oh look, extra life. So even the hidden stuff like that is in here. It's the Firefly. As I say, there is some slight slowdown and problems with this version, and you might have seen there the enemies appeared to pop in to view. That's partly because the C64 screen is wider than the original NES screen, so the end result is you see an extra couple of columns, but you can't actually interact with them. See how much, oh, terrible jump there to get to the flag. But there is the classic Game Complete music. I'm hoping there's not too much flickering of the screen on this video. I thought it was better than that. But, World 1, 2. No. Goes into the pipe and goes underground. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the THE C64, the full size version. There's another fire flower in that first, another fire flower in that first brick. That's a multiple coin brick. If you've played a certain C64 game, you may recognise certain similarities and layouts in the screen. Yeah, let's see if I can do a little trick. Yeah, I can't do it from there. You can hear that the music slowed down a little. Also, I need to get too close to the piranha plants. Ooh, there's a hidden run. Get too close to those piranha plants and they hide. There's another multi-coin block there, but I won't bother taking that out now. Let's back out the pipe a bit further on the level. Oh dear, we took a hit. So, welcome to Warp Zone. Another of those little hidden tricks in Super Mario Brothers. We skip straight to World 4. So, as I say, I hope you enjoyed this look at the new C64. Originally I wasn't going to purchase a Mini or the C64 full size. I didn't back the Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign for a number of reasons. One of them being, at the time I didn't have enough money to do so. So, we'll leave it there. My phone's running out of power, and hope you enjoyed this unboxing video, and stay tuned to the C64 channel for more interviews, reviews and unboxing.